Good morning, Kenyans. It's once more another day that I would like to delve into issues that are currently affecting this country. And I would like to start by addressing myself to the issue of the BBI in view of national cohesion. The problems bedeviling Kenya is not necessarily the fact that Kenyans are violent people. The issues that are affecting Kenya is that Kenya has refused completely, through its leadership and the citizenry, to consider state formation. What Kenyans are treated to is ethnic bigotry. Inasmuch as we would like to consider the initiative undertaken by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga in trying to ensure that there is cohesion in the country, that the country moves in one direction as a unified unit. The truth of the matter is that there is a political class that whose mind frame is ethnic based. Let me give you an example. We know for sure that corruption is an issue that is affecting development in our country. We know that resources that are meant for development are being swindled and entering into people's pockets. We are also aware that since 1992, we have had ethnic violence in the Rift Valley, specifically in the Rift Valley. And through the machinery of KANU, we had similar skirmishes in Mombasa, in Kisauni, and also in the south coast from the Mombasa Island. And if you look at the violence that happened in 1997 in the Rift Valley and also on the Mombasa Island, you will see the hand of KANU in it. And the people who had been in Youth for KANU 1992 were the same people that were fueling this violence. And now these are the people who are changing the narrative to say that the violence is because of two communities, Kikuyus and Luos. Kikuyus and Luos have never fought seriously as an ethnic community. In fact, they have had a spillover effect of the violence that takes place in other parts of the country. You will see skirmishes in Kibera, you'll see skirmishes in Babadogo and a bit of Madare. But in the true sense of the word, there has never been skirmishes between the Luos and the Kikuyus. In fact, there has been lots of violence meted against all different communities by the Kalenjin community in the Rift Valley. The Molo violence in 1992, 1997, in 2007 in Eldoret and Burnt Forest and Tarbo. This is violence that is organized violence. The Kalenjin as a people are not violent, but the Kalenjin as a people mobilized politically can be extremely very violent and have been very violent. And therefore, my take on the BBI, on the unity, is to dismantle completely these ethnic convergences. In fact, I dare the Minister of Interior and the National Commission for Integration and National Commission for Cohesion Integration Commission to outlaw this ethnic-laced congregation and politicians speaking about the interests of their people. Politically speaking, there is nothing that exists under the law called Rift Valley or called Mount Kenya. These are creations of politicians who would like to mobilize along ethnic lines. It doesn't matter what you do. They are devoid of ideas, they are bankrupt in ideas, and the only thing they can do is mobilize along ethnic lines. The BBI committee of experts, or the committee that was set up by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, went into different parts of the country and went into details in ensuring that they listened to different Kenyans all over the republic. And at no one time did I see them go to a county and then say that they are calling upon people of the Rift Valley of this ethnic group to converge so that they can discuss their interest. I did not see them go to the coast and say, we want the Mijikenda to converge so that we can get their interest. Or go to Mount Kenya and tell the Mount Kenya people to converge and so we can get their interest. If it is not Mount Kenya or Rift Valley, you will hear some subdivisions of Wafugaji. There is nothing that exists in this country as Wafugaji. Ufugaji is just but a livelihood option. And many people can do Wafugaji. You could be a farmer and you can also keep livestock. So there is nothing specific of interest to anybody that subdivisions. And this is what I'm calling the NCIC, to reflect seriously and to lead this process of national cohesion. I don't know what they are being paid to do. I don't know whether they understand their mandate, whether they have a clear terms of reference and a time frame and certain milestones that they must achieve at a given time. This reactive situation I saw Ole Kaparo and his group engaging is very, very disheartening, because you cannot wait for somebody to incite, then you summon them and take them to the police cells. In fact, there are certain laws that must be prescribed and declare certain actions illegal under Kenya law. These meetings that people meet based on tribal groups must be outlawed. To hear people balkanize the country and say leaders of the Rift Valley, leaders of, I don't know, Mount Kenya, that balkanization is extremely dangerous. And I would like to call people who sponsor such meetings, I would like to call them out and say these people are bankrupt of ideas and they should never be given leadership positions in this country. For today, I think I will stop there, and because I just wanted to make one point very clearly, that one, that violence, political violence, has never been an agenda for the Kikuyu and the Luos only. Political violence was instituted by KANU in this country, and the people who are the offsprings of KANU have continued to use that modus operandi for political negotiation. Two, the point I wanted to make very clearly is that the National Cohesion and Integration Commission must outlaw, must declare tribal meetings as illegal, because it is in those meetings that the country is balkanized, that when people make statements after those meetings, the voting community believes in what they have said, and so blinds them, the population, from seeing Kenya as one. And the third point is that balkanizing the country along regions is a seed for disintegration. So that when we are debating, the forums under which we must debate as members of parliament should be parliament. And if people want to debate, they must, or hold meetings, they must hold meetings under legal institutions like political parties, so that I'll have no problem if political party groupings meet. Ford Kenya meets, ODM meets, Jubilee meets, Wiper meets, NAC meets, and any other political party meets, because even though we know that some political parties have dominance in certain regions, but at least those are political parties under the law. and they can meet like political party groupings. This way, we can engage, not necessarily talking about regions and talking about tribe. And finally, that the fight against corruption is a very simple thing. I don't know why President Uhuru Kenyatta and his group are making it so difficult. Everybody should have a PIN number, and everybody should have a microchip which you can put onto an identity card of an individual in this country, so that if this person makes any income, it must be registered through that microchip, the income. His expenditure must be receipted through that microchip and its number. This way you are able to trace money that is not going through the formal system. Now, when somebody gives out money to other groupings of persons, that money must go through those chips as well, and the people declare the source of these monies. This way, China started this with vouchers during Mao Zedong's time, and they didn't have the technology that we have today. Surely we can track the movement of cash and its source, and know who is spending money on what and where it's coming from. Chapter 6 of our Constitution is very clear. If the government could implement that Chapter 6 in terms of leadership, then corruption will be a thing of the past. But as long as Chapter 6 is watered down, we are not going anywhere. Integrity must be the benchmark upon which a Kenyan leader must be elected. Thank you very much, and subscribe and share this video.